Okay, some people are joining, right. So before we start the tour, we wanted to thank you for taking part in this first day of live talks, which were kind of, really fruitful. I guess we're really happy to see so many discussions taking place. And we're also thankful that you're coming to this first activity. Yeah, it was important for us to suggest some kind of get together despite the distant format of the conference, and we chose this activity for three reasons. First, because it will let you see a small part of the neighborhood where we should have received you in other conditions. And for those of you that already know the city of Liège a bit, you'll get to see it in a different way, I guess. The second reason is that this will also allow us to show and talk to you about this project, which is called LiègeCraft and which is developed by the Liège Game Lab in cooperation with the province. And finally, we wanted to mitigate the distance and offer you some way to regroup, interact, or even construct your own builds, leave traces of your presence for this conference. This is why we will leave the server open for the whole duration of the events, but I'll talk about that more specifically at the end of the visit. Anyway, for those of you that are not familiar with the game, I'll give you a few details on the keys and commands. As you've probably noticed already, you can move using the ZQSD or WASD keys, depending on the layout of your keyboard, and you can sprint by double tapping the button you use to go forward. So either Z or W for the keyboards that I know of. You can also check the controls in your parameters by pressing the escape key. And if you wish to talk in the chat, which we really encourage you to do, either to ask some questions or give remark, simply press T, so the letter T, and then write your message and press enter. And last but not least, you can fly if you want to move faster by pressing the spacebar twice. And if you want to disable the fly mode, you simply press space twice again. You have to do it in a relatively short time so that it's enabled. If you've lost the group for some reason, don't hesitate to say so in the chat, and we will try to teleport you directly to us. So there you have it. We really hope you'll enjoy yourselves and take advantage of this platform to get creative and leave some mementos. But before we do that, I'll let Maxime give you a bit of background info about the LiègeCraft project.
Thank you, Damien. Hello to everyone. My name is Maxime Godfirnon. I'm part of the crew who created the LiègeCraft project. So, to tell you a bit about the project itself, we wanted to reproduce the place of the Ventoux. So how to say so, the place where you are right now. In Minecraft, so it's a real place in the city of Liège, and it's really important for the Liège Lab because, as you will see, our main spot of activities are in the neighborhood, like right here in the Ventoux, or I'll show you around in a few minutes in the digital lab. So to do so, we had a crew of 5 persons. First, Dr. Pierre-Yves who you may already know, who is working on the amateur scene and the amateur video game, who created the original idea of the project. With by his side is PhD student Hamza Bachandi, another member of the Liège Game Lab, who is working in the architecture faculty on the representation of manifestation in video games. To complete the crew is Alexis Messina and myself, who are both students in the Faculty of Philosophy and Letters, as presented by Björn Olav Dozo early in the conferences. As a research auxiliary and student for the Liège Game Lab, and as a veteran player of the game Minecraft, we joined the team to help create the representation and organize the activities which led to this creation. And finally, Nicolas Cassolin, who is here with us right now, who is the coordinator of the Digital Lab. The Digital Lab is the result of the union between the University of Liège and the province of Liège, who is letting us use a small space in the city and some computers and resources to progress with our activities. So as you can see, the point of this project was to recreate part of the city, and to do so, we did it with a few participants, a small group of participants in real life. They were mainly teenagers from something like 14 years old to 17, and some of the members of the Liège Game Lab helped us too. So during 6 activities of about an afternoon, we tried to reproduce the place, and then we created a bit of. We worked a bit more during other periods. So everything you are gonna see here has been reproduced by the lab and the participants, who I want to thank a lot already. And to finish with the explanation for now, before initiating the tour, I wanted to explain the way of working, and the most important thing about this project was the tension between two poles that I think are part of every activities with games. First, there is the want and the will to reproduce the city, the objective to follow, and to go forward while working and playing, and versus this will to progress in the objective. There were the will of the participant to create and to play with the game in a free way, and I think this will for this desire for freedom is part of is inherently part of every game. So as you'll see during the tour, there are a few marks of the will of the participant, like the equipment some of your avatars already have on themselves, as the accounts you are using right now have already been used by the participants. So if your inventory, you see that you have things like helmets or flying wings, it's because the participant gave you this already. So you are inheriting the account. Damien, do you think it's okay for an introduction? And we're gonna start the tour.
Yeah, I suppose we can start if everyone would follow me.
If you have any question right now, you can already ask them in the chat. And Fanny, I don't know if you can give me the questions that are happening on Twitch, because I can't see them right now.
Yeah. I see there is already a question in the chat. I guess you can answer in the chat while I talk too much and we go on visiting. So if everyone would follow me, we'll now invite you to go inside the building. building, which is the Faculty of Arts and Humanities, and actually one of the very few to be situated in the center of Liège. The four buildings that you have perhaps seen if you've flown over the building, these four buildings that make the faculty have been built in LiègeCraft, but this is the only one where the interior has been recreated, and this was actually done specifically for this conference. As you'll see over there at the end of the hallway, yes, you can turn off the music by pressing the escape key, going to options, music and sound, and you can turn the music off. Very good question. I forgot to mention it. So if you follow me to the end of the hallway, over here, I should perhaps have some kind of umbrella or fireworks to signal my presence. All right, we'll go. So here is the main amphitheater of the faculty. This place is where we had actually planned to host the Replaying Japan event. To give you a bit of history, these four buildings made up the university when it was created, and the university was created before Belgium even existed. It was placed here by the King of the Netherlands in an old school, a Jesuit school that had already been used by various teaching institutions. And at the center of this university was an old church, which was soon destroyed and replaced with a grand academic hall, which is the hall you're seeing now, where the choir of the church previously stood. If it's been correctly recreated, and if you were really there, you would see that part of the church were kept in place by the architects. But the structure has been reduced later on to add the building where you enter the university, building which also houses the presidency, the departments of philosophy, antiquities, as well as the department of media, culture, and communication. Now, as for this academic hall, some people wanted to destroy it later on. Luckily, it remained, and it's now protected as a historic building and even considered the most prestigious building of the university. So there you have it, the main amphitheater of our faculty. For the rest of the tour, I think we wanted to take you to the digital lab.
First, we're gonna show a bit of the theater, maybe.
Yeah, if you have anything else to add. I can't think of anything else right now, but
I'll explain just a word about the theater in front of us, and then I will go to digital.
Okay, sure.
It's all right for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can follow us at the outside of the university, right where you were when we started the tour.
Yeah, you can also fly if you want to go faster again. If your connection allows it, which is not the case for me.
So I guess everyone's here. So just to present you this building that I particularly like in real life and in its representation in Minecraft, that's the theater of the city of Liège. Yeah. So that's a theater which was originally made for a society called the Free Society of Emulation. This building was destroyed during the First World War, and the emulation group changed this building. So a few years later, when the building wasn't occupied, the city decided to give it to to what's now the Theatre of Liège. And as you can see, the building starts here with this neoclassical style, but also this really modern style building is part of the theatre. And I think it represents quite well the city of Liège and its mixed influence and the different architecture style you can see everywhere around, with neo-Gothical building right next to the university, which is more classical, with modern parts and things like that. If anyone from Liège wants to add something to my descriptions or my bit of history in the chats, feel free to do so. So I think we are good to go to the digital lab if everyone is ready.
Yeah, we'll let you also roam free at the end of the tour, so you'll have all the liberty you want to explore or just take some altitude and then see it all from a bigger picture. For instance, if you get high enough, you can see that not all of it, of course, has been entirely built. It's a work in progress.
For those who didn't see us leave, you can follow us on the main avenue in the directions of the first bus, in the direction of the yellow bus. We are going to the end or to nearly the end of the road. And if Nicolas, if you can teleport everyone, I think you can do so once we arrive to the digital lab.
This is a bit drastic. And there is indeed a trail of cake. All right, I've arrived. Or not. There it is.
So, I don't know, Damien, do you explain it or I do it myself?
I'm being sabotaged. You can do it if you want.
Okay, that's great.
I'll go and check if there's people left behind.
No, you're welcome for the person who is using the Miyamoto account. So here you're in front of the digital lab, which is a local that the province of Liège I won't say give, but let the member of the Liège Game Lab use. You can enter in it if you want. We try to reproduce the interior, part of the interior. So here we are conducting activities. We are working in the place on the computers. We also have some VR headsets to test the VR games. and it's also a place to meet with participants to different activities we are organizing, and also for everyone in the city that wants to conduct projects with new technologies and numerical, also and have a bit of resources in this place. Nicolas, if you have something to add to it, as you are the specialist and the coordinator of the lab, feel free to do so, of course. Also, as you see, there should be here some stairs which lead to the bottom and the top of the building. We haven't yet reproduced them, so when you'll have a bit of free time to do whatever you want on the map, feel free to imagine what displays should resemble to, and what you would see yourself should a laboratory contain to work with. And the giant pool with case seems pretty good for me. So I don't know if anyone has questions yet, or if we continue the visit. What do you think?
I think some people have been left behind. There was someone in the chat, and I can see two people in front of the university, but I don't know if they're lost or if they're just messing around.
Miyazaki, I'm gonna teleport it to myself.
Can I have the pseudo, please?
Can you please what? Can you have what?
I have the pseudo.
Yeah,
think
I
it
did
was
it already.
DJ Miyazaki 17.
Is the country that big in the lab? Is nearly that big and twice as comfy.
If anyone else is lost, don't hesitate to say so. We can teleport you easily to the group.
Okay, there's a guy trapped in the basement. All right.
You're locking people
That's
up already.
Okay, I'm gonna teleport him. Okay, so if everyone is ready, we're gonna follow back the cake backward, and we're gonna go alongside the Meuse, which is the river that goes through the city of Liège. So you can admire a bit of the view. If you're seeing resolution is high enough, you'll be able to see the Outremeuse neighborhood, which means the neighborhood on the other side of the river. You also can see that the system of traffic lights is working. So it's one of the participants did it with the redstone, which is the equivalent of electricity and programmation inside the DHS of Minecraft. So sometimes it takes some pleasure to admire this piece of work which I wouldn't be able to do myself. I think it's a good representation of the help and the participation of the different person that happened to work with us and create this representation. We couldn't have do so without them.
Yeah, some of them know so much more than we do.
Yeah, clearly.
It's kind of fun sometimes. Okay, so I think I have lost you.
I'm in the road right next to the water.
So
And
the
I'm going.
next destination is the Grand Post. Is that it?
Exactly. Alongside, you can see the whole building we are working by is part of the university. These are the different places and departments of the philosophy and literature department, the different specialized sections.
I think I'm getting there, but I'm really slow.
I'm gonna wait a little bit and then we'll teleport everyone here if your connection does not permit you to be fast enough to follow the rest of the group.
Okay, here I am. We've actually come back close to where we started. This is just another side of the main building of the university. Well, of this faculty at least.
I think that's everyone. If someone is missing, you can tell us in the chat and we'll teleport you right away. So, and if you are ready, Damien, could you please tell us a bit of the history of this building, which is quite iconic in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I'll just throw a few more facts and anecdotes on the building, which is even more important this year, but I'll tell you about that later. Building which is indeed iconic. It's a protected monument, which was built originally at the turn of the 20th century, and which originally housed the postal service of the city. But recently it's been bought by both the university and an investment fund, and it's been restored very, very recently. And this new building, which should normally open next September, will host, amongst other things, a microbrewery, hotel and catering services, if I'm not mistaken, a business incubator, co-working areas, but as well as academic facilities, notably amphitheaters and recording studios for the Department of Media, Culture and Communication. Now you can really see it from here, but the building, mainly the interior, is famous because it features traditional architecture with modern metalwork. And this is not that surprising because Liège was a huge industrial area which did specialize in metallurgy. And if you stood on the outside of the building, you'd see that the various types of workers that made the city famous are also represented in the form of various statues on the outside. So yeah, kind of a mix of the old and the new, which will be integrated as part of the university in the coming month. Do you have anything else to add that you would think of, or even in the chat if we have some connoisseurs?
If not, I guess we can go to the last building we're gonna show you before ending the visit in the LiègeCraft tower. So if you can follow me, we're gonna go this way, and we're gonna see a work in progress. So you'll be able to see how it looks like when we are working on something. and will be the actual cathedral of Liège, so the Cathedral Saint-Paul.
This one is a bit further up.
Yes, and as we advance, as we walk in this direction, you will see the transition between the built city, the built parts with road and buildings and vegetation, and the transition to the work that's left to do to create the whole place.
The wasteland. You should also come across a typical redstone system, which the guy that helped us build left as an example of how he did all the traffic light system.
So, for those who are already alongside myself, yeah, you see that there are huge blocks of stone. That's what we use to simulate the town and to help us build it. We used topographical maps of the city to recreate the shapes of the buildings. And here you can see the shape of the cathedral, and we'll go offside the cliff to see the actual building that we are currently working on with Alexei during some labs.
If you're seeing weird stuff, this is presents left by the LiègeCrafters. There we are.
So you can follow us off the cliff, and you can see the okay.
Oh, someone
was
creative.
okay.
Can someone change the game mode for Fiji Miyazaki 17 and I guess teleport that person to us?
Okay. I did it, Nico, if you want. So here you can see the cathedral, and I don't know if everyone's here. Okay. So you can see that we are working on it. It's the equivalent of the huge block of stone you can see right above us. And we are working on it. So the Cathedral Saint-Paul, for those who want to know, was not the original Cathedral of Liège. The history of the cathedral is quite important for the city of Liège because it was a place, a city with quite a unique political system in Europe. The city was left behind, was like independent and a bit left behind of the other countries outside them.
There is someone else. Sorry to
yeah, no
cut here.
problem. No problem.
There is another game mode change.
So originally, the ruler of the city wasn't a noble, but was a bishop prince. So it was a bishop and a religious person. And so the center of the city was the Cathédrale Saint-Lambert. But during the Liège Revolution, when the power of the bishop was considered a bit too abusive, the rebels decided to destroy methodically the Saint-Lambert Cathedral to sap the power of the bishop. A few years later, they decided that the city still needed a cathedral, and so one of the remaining, how to say, an église, churches. One of the churches, here the Saint Paul Church, was elected to become the new cathedral. And so you see that it's still work in progress. if you want, just next, you'll be able to keep creating it if you want to see how it's in real life with internet, or if you want to imaginate what the cathedral should be, you'll be able to freely continue it. Thank you for the precision, Alexi. So if you don't have any question, I don't know if right now Damien can tell me if there are questions in the chat on Twitch. I think it would be a good time to respond to them if there are some, and then we'll just go to the last stop of the tour and let you do whatever you want.
Yeah, I can't see anything from Twitch, so if anyone else can transfer. But yeah, thank you very much for the positive comments. Well, thank you. We thank you for them, for those that helped build all of this.
So to follow me for the next step, we are gonna ask you to fly up and to rejoin the rest of the city, and you are gonna cross across the wasteland, if I can say so, and the rock, and we're gonna go back to the digital lab, but this time we're not gonna enter the lab itself. We're gonna go up to the top. And you'll be able to see the headquarters of LiègeCraft, where you'll be able to do a few things we're going to explain just right away. To get up over the cliff, you can double tap the space button and the space key, and you should be able to fly. If you can't, it may mean that you are not in creative game mode, so Nicola will give you the game mode. Normally, you shouldn't be able to miss the building because it's the higher on the highest point of the map, and there is a huge LiègeCraft written in red on top of it.
Maybe we can just teleport everyone, since this is the last
Yes, we could do
last
so.
step of the visit, and it's quite high up. Then everyone can just roam around if they wish to do so.
So who isn't there yet? The people who are left behind, can you please write your name in the chat so I can teleport you? I'm gonna make an exception for Ipsen so you can see they have a good view. So Digifox, Hussein Garrett. Okay. Okay, nice. So here you can see you can see the tour we made is not exactly like this in reality, because I don't think we know exactly how it is in reality. We just have top views on it, and actually I had a great idea to make it a cool spot. So we're gonna give you. I know, Damien, if you give the instruction, or I do it myself, as you want.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can do it. If you have anything else to add,
I'll do it right next.
don't hesitate. But there's not very much else to say. Just that we wanted to leave the server open for the whole duration of the conference. So during these 4 days, and even after the tour ends, you can roam around freely You can go inside the buildings where most insides are just empty, but you can just explore. As you've seen, you can destroy things. You can also build them, and we really encourage you to get creative, to leave some things of your own, to roam around and to do whatever you wish. You can even meet there if you want during presentation, whatever you feel like. And yeah, we really wanted to collect I don't know, kind of a golden book. So collect your comments and whatever you feel like writing if you want to leave something. So we've set up a chest right where Maxime and I are flying around. In the chest, you will find books and quills, and you can take them. I'm not sure what the key combination is. I think it's yeah.
And
You
just
can into your inventory and select it and press right click. Then you can write a message, whatever you feel like. But just don't forget to put the book back in the chest. That way we can put all of your comments together. If you've built something, well, it might make it into the official server. So this is the copy of the server because otherwise there was too much risk. But if you build stuff, we can transfer it in the official server, and that way there will be some mementos of this conference. So I guess I don't know if there was anything else we wanted to say.
no, I guess that's all. We're gonna just thank you from now for having followed us around and listening to us. And yes, feel free to do whatever you want. This place is now yours. You're
And
welcome.
again, if you have any question, don't hesitate to ask even for later. If you have more question about the project or anything, don't hesitate. So I guess this concludes the tour.
Yeah, I don't know, Fanny. I guess we are gonna leave the Twitch streaming now. We can. I'm just also gonna, if you want, add a textual channel for LiègeCraft. So if anyone wants to ask question later on, he can do so, and the different members will be able to interact with you.
Yeah, I think that would be a great idea.